We are Dallas. There's a spirit that lives in the city. Bold, unbreakable, proud. You can feel it in the roar of a crowd on a Friday night, in the quiet hum of dawn before the city wakes, in the hearts of those who stand watch while others sleep. That spirit is us. We are the Dallas Police Department. We are Dallas. Our story began in 1881 with a promise to protect a growing city full of hope. Those early days weren't easy. There was no roadmap, no backup, no guarantees. Just grit, courage, and faith in something bigger than themselves. Through the years, the city rose. And so do we. We've seen history unfold here. We've stood strong in moments that tested the heart of our city. And every time, we've come back stronger and together. We've led the way in innovation, building one of the most respected departments in the nation. But what truly sets us apart isn't our size, or our tools, or the tactics. It's our heart. It's the rookie who pins the badge on for the first time, knowing the weight that it carries. It's the veteran who still stops to shake a child's hand on their last patrol. It's the detective who works through the night because one more clue might bring a family peace. It is the belief that every person, every neighborhood, every life in this city matters. That's what drives us. That's what defines us. Because we don't just serve Dallas. We are Dallas. We are the courage in the face of danger. We are the steady hands when fear takes hold. We are the compassion that listens, the strength that protects, and the resolve that never fades. And as this city continues to rise, brighter, stronger, prouder than ever, we'll be right here. Standing guard, standing together, standing for Dallas. Because this isn't just a job, it's a calling. It's an oath. And when you wear this badge, you carry the weight of the city that never quits. We are Dallas. We always will be.
But it's all those other people who really, really want us and show us the love. And you got to think about those. And it just makes the job so much fun to do because you know you're making a difference. And that has driven me to be the very best. So my goal is for us to be the best police department in the United States. Let's give everybody the recognition who's actually done the work. I'm not out there doing the work. I'm just giving you the ability to do the work. I want to highlight who's actually doing the work. Everything's about a sport. We want to win the championship. Leadership's an active sport. How do you win a championship? It's by teamwork. I'm looking forward, and I think we're going to make Dallas PD even better than what it was. You know, my thing is, hey, let's put out the facts. Dallas is kicking butt. We're keeping everybody safe here in Dallas.
Chief Comeaux, thanks for coming back on.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, we've there's a lot that's went on since the last time, and you know you've been here in April, and a lot's happened in Dallas.
Yeah, well, it's what, 7 months now?
Yeah,
Like I think it's 3 years and
3 years.
Yeah, dog years.
Yeah, you're gonna age here. There was a camel at DPD headquarters, I think, for the first time ever in our history.
Yeah, you know, I've been starting off telling Mounted that we should go to camels instead of horses.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. I told them, I said, you know, they drink less water, they work longer hours, they're strong, and if you get a two-hump one, they can ride partners.
Yeah, hey, that would make a great photo op. Well, it was out here, so I want to thank Salim and Texas Day Brazil for taking care of our people. That was amazing, and I lost track of how many people were coming through here getting food.
Man, I think it almost reached 1,000. But big props, much love to Texas D Brazil for doing that for the department. And not only did he do it for the department, he wants to do it again. We already have a date set up in February where we're going to feed officers. We're going to try once a quarter. And he's really excited about doing it. And he has other businesses engaged that wants to assist and do it. Also, Raising Cane's is going to be next up.
Wow.
And they've already agreed to take care of the police department.
That's nice. I mean, Danny and I have talked before about what makes this city great. I mean, it's not necessarily the government or a beautiful skyline, but it's really the philanthropy that's in the city that takes care of us.
Man, it's a whole lot that want to give to the police department. And it's one thing that just as I go out and I talk, so many people are saying, hey, we love DPD. What can we do?
Yeah. Well, another partner we have is QT. They provided the drinks that day. So shout out QT. Thank you for that.
Yeah, they took care of us.
Yeah. And they're taking care of us with reality-based training. So
QT's all over it too.
They
and,
are.
I can tell they're a long partner of DPD.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we touched on leadership the last one, but there's something I want to ask you. When it comes to leadership, how important it is for people when they hook their trailer to the wrong wagon?
You know what's interesting when it comes to leadership, a lot of times, and let me go back just a little bit. When I was a special agent in charge for over 5 years, 5.5, 6 years, and I was what we called it an SES for almost 7 years, or a little bit more than 7 years. One of the things I used to always remember when people would call and they would recommend, hey, you should look at this person for promotion. And the thing that used to always go through my mind, if I didn't respect that person that was calling me, I would throw that name out. Wouldn't even consider them for promotion, because you were recommended by somebody that I didn't respect on the job, or that wasn't a worker on the job, but they're giving you a good reference.
Right.
I would put them in a bad pile.
Yeah.
And so when you hook your trail on to the wrong person, just because someone has stars doesn't necessarily mean they have the reputation that officers look up to, that officers want to work for. So why would you hook your trailer to that person?
Yeah, and higher rank doesn't necessarily make you a good leader.
Not at all. Just means that you have a higher rank at that time.
Yeah, right. And then they can't always satisfy the leadership needs, right?
Yeah, so being a leader is different than being a boss, being a supervisor, somebody you work with. Leadership is special. And I love to use the phrase, you want to build that bridge for someone else to walk over. Maybe it was a little tough for you to get over the bridge, but you want to make it smooth for someone else to walk over. And that's part of leadership, being able to build that bridge for all those who follow behind you to make it easier for them.
They need to understand their challenges too, right?
Well, look, if you don't understand what challenges are and how to make people better, make it easier, you're not doing your job.
What do you think about you got to identify the mentors?
So one of the things for me right now, being the chief of police, I still have a lot of mentors that I reach out to and I call. And now being the chief, I really want to talk to more CEOs of major businesses. It's not just about talking to other chiefs. See, because I need to understand what's happening in a major corporation, because the Dallas Police Department is a major corporation. You can't just reach out to law enforcement executives. The outside world can give you so much perspective on what you should do inside of a police department. And that's one of the things that I'm really working on. And it's a continuing process. But I'll tell you, my top mentors right now has nothing to do with law enforcement.
Did you always believe that, or when did that approach hit you?
Man, I started looking at that probably in about 2011. Is when I started switching to a combination of mentors in law enforcement and outside of law enforcement. And every year after that, I started going more and more towards outside of law enforcement, to where I'm at now, where I talk to other chiefs. I still talk to other special agents in charge, and I talk to some retirees on the law enforcement side. But I think when it comes to making the police department better, a lot of times it's talking to CEOs of businesses.
Yeah, and I think if you get so far in your career, let's say 30 years in law enforcement, you are the subject matter expert. Who are you going to turn to? So drawing from other avenues or other arenas or theaters is where you accumulate even more knowledge.
So I couldn't have said it any better. That's exactly what I think and what I believe, and that's why I reach out to outside of law enforcement CEOs to get better.
I've never heard that. I haven't heard any other boss that takes that approach.
Well,
it's interesting.
I like to say I'm an acquired taste.
You're definitely that. And you have good taste in music, the Big Papa.
Yeah, of course. Biggie Smalls.
Well, I did want to talk to you again about having the wrong leader in place, and I mean there are morale killers out there, and it could cause any employee to devolve.
Look, the way I look at it is I want all employees to be happy to come to work. If you're happy to come to work, we're going to be more productive. So if you're sitting at home and you're like, man, I got to go goddamn deal with this sergeant or this lieutenant or major. Oh my goodness, I hate seeing them because they're such a morale killer. Everything is half empty and there's always a problem. Man, you're not going to give your 100 when you come to work. You just can't. No matter who you are, no matter how bubbly you are as a person, that's going to bring you down.
Yeah, negativity is infectious.
Very much so.
Yeah.
I believe in being half glass full. I'm always going to look at the positives first. Then I'm going to look at the negatives, and we'll try to fix the negatives. But I want to see what's positive first.
Yeah, we, like you said, we want people to want to stay in Dallas PD and not go to these other agencies because that's happened.
Look, I talked to a couple, one individual that sticks out that came back to the Dallas Police Department after going to another police department that's pretty close to here, a big city. And they said they didn't have the camaraderie. Officers wouldn't check by.
Interesting.
And they came back. They stayed gone for a little less than a year, and they said DPD was more of a family. And, at that point, I was like, wow, I love it. I love to hear that. But that's what we need to build around here. It's a culture.
Yeah, you want to build a fabric. It's hard to tear.
Absolutely.
Right? You did kind of make news lately, and can you talk about that at all?
What day, man? Seems like I'm making news a lot here in Dallas, but I'm sure you're referring to our federal partners. Look, obviously, I was with the federal government for 28 years. Love the federal government. We each have our lane, but our lanes are different. We have to stay in our lane, and we will help and assist and cooperate with them in their lane to make sure that they're successful, but we can't do their job full times. Our responsibility is taking care of everybody inside of Dallas and making sure everybody inside of Dallas is safe. So I felt from my position, the most important thing was for us to focus on Dallas, and us taking that deal with the federal government was not best for Dallas.
Yeah, I don't think we've had another chief that has had the federal experience that you've had. So you probably, of all chiefs that we've had, probably understands and respects that side more than any of the others.
I completely understand it, and that's why I made the decision. We threw an extra 4 bodies over to the HIDTA task force for the overdose task force. I looked how the group was working here and the work that they wanted to do, and they were trying to do their very best, but they didn't have certain things that they needed to do to be the very best at their job. And made the phone call, reached out to DEA. We put them over there. And within weeks, they solved the overdose death, a murder death. And they figured it out, got it together, made an arrest. That was pretty impressive.
You talked before. I've heard you say this in passing. You're a workhorse, not a show horse.
All right, so I can't take credit for that. That came from someone that lives in Dallas, came from a major CEO who looked at me, stuck his hand out and said, "Hey, Chief, I appreciate you." And I was like, "Well, thanks very much." And he said, "You're a workhorse, not a show horse." And I was like, "Oh man, I kind of like that."
Yeah.
And kind of smiled, and I told him thank you. And that's what I want to be looked at. I want to be looked at as a worker. It's not about me. And I've said that from day one. I have nothing else to prove in law enforcement, but I still have a lot to accomplish. And I'll keep saying that over and over. It's not about me. It's about the department. It's about the city.
I got to ask you, are you having fun still?
I am. Every morning I wake up, I'm enjoying it. And sometimes I tell Jerry, you guys know Jerry, I'll tell him we'll be riding in the car together and we'll see a patrol car go by. And I'll say, "Hey, Jerry, I work with that guy there." And he looks at me and he says, "No, Chief, he works for you." And I'm like, "No, we work together." He's like, "All of these cars are yours." And I'm like, God, darn it, I'm the chief of Dallas, man. Come on. I'm the chief of Dallas. This is awesome. Like,
You just wake up some days and go, I'm the chief of the 9th largest department in the country.
yeah. You know what? 9th largest department in the country. But I think top 4 police department in the country.
Oh, yeah, we're nationally recognized.
Yeah.
I mean, when you hear about law enforcement in even Texas, you don't think about the other cities. You think about what's going on in Dallas.
I believe that 100%, and I see it every day. I know from the phone calls I get from other chiefs and other law enforcement officials, we're right there.
One big thing I think any major department wants to address is the recruiting. And you are making it a point to recruit outside the state. Why is that?
Look, you want the city to be diverse. Dallas is a very diverse city. You have people from all over that lives in Dallas. So why not recruit from outside? In Texas, no state income tax. Overall, good weather. You have all the seasons here in Dallas. This is a great place to live. And we need to cast our net wide. And, we had a recruiting class of 77 recently, which was the second largest recruiting class in the history of Dallas. And it started with 19 women, which was the second largest amount of women in a recruiting class in Dallas. And then I was told, hey, Chiefs, let's manage expectations because November, it's always low. We're always in our 30s. And I didn't believe that we would be in the 30s again. And we just started this class for 61 in November.
Nice.
So while other departments are having a hard time recruiting, we're not in Dallas.
What's the strategy?
Well, it's more of a targeted approach. You have to target, and one of the things I challenged HR and recruiting with was find out who are officers on the job. What was their background? Where did they come from? I mean, it sounds simple. And I told this to the mayor day one when I got hired, and I told him what we were going to do, and he said, well, he looked at me and he said, well, Chief, if it was that easy, I think every other chief would have done it. And I said, it's going to make a difference. And I challenged them to do that and did a little research. And we're doing more of a targeted approach on recruiting. And I think it's showing in the numbers.
And why should they come to Dallas to get an opportunity to do real policing?
We are the most proactive police department in the United States. I'll keep saying it over and over. We're not going to be reactive and just take 911 calls. We're going to stop crimes before they happen. We're going to go after all of these individuals with felony warrants. We're going to put them in jail every single day. We're focusing on putting bad people in jail. So if you're doing bad things in Dallas, I keep saying it over and over, 6 a.m, it can be us knocking at your door.
I love it. Operation Justice Trail. I mean, can you talk about that? We touched on it. It was just beginning the last time you were on.
Yeah, I think now we're close to over 500 arrests total on fugitives that we've been arresting, and they're responsible for over 3,000 prior arrests. I mean, just that number alone, all right? And you're putting those individuals in jail that's walking around with felony warrants. It's something that we will continue to do. We're going to be extremely proactive in doing it, and we're going to take the bad people off the streets.
Also, you got a new little unit starting up. It's the tactical narcotic team, and Danny's involved in that as far as the SOP writing, I believe.
Yeah, and I think they want to make sure we're using the official name of it now. I heard is Investigative Warrant Unit.
Okay.
Yeah, IWU.
IWU. Okay.
IWU.
That's the name they came up with. That wasn't yours?
That was not mine.
Okay.
The other name, we're going to circle back to that. The other name I came up with, though, was the Hot Team.
Okay.
And now
I like
it. So I didn't realize it when I said it. The Hot Team is Homeless Outreach Team.
Yeah.
Well, it says hot. But every time I said, I'm getting questions. Hey, are the officers hot on that team from the community? And I'm like,
oh no. Oh no.
The last 2 town hall meetings I've had, I see the smile and they're like, well, do you have hot officers on it?
No, it should be. You got to come up with the acronym. It's HAWT. That's what the hot team.
So that's stupid. Get off the mic.
Speaking of hot guys, SWAT. You got them into the international. That they're going to international competition. 43 countries, right?
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Then we got to go down there and represent and let everybody know who Dallas is.
And
so I've challenged the SWAT team. I called a special meeting and I went down to SWAT and I told them, hey, this is serious. This is not a vacation. I need you to go down there and win. I need you to go down there and place. so we can let everyone know in the country who we are.
So 43 different countries are going to be there.
Yes, sir.
In Dubai.
In Dubai.
That's amazing. You took another interesting trip to Qatar. Is that how you say it? Because I always hear different.
Every Qatar.
Yeah.
And then when we were down there, we heard it said both ways. So I still don't know what it is. Qatar. I think either one's acceptable.
What was that about?
Well, I wanted to see what they did, right? They had the FIFA, and it was the safest FIFA in the world, in the history. So we wanted to see exactly how they did it, how they went about it. Now, rules there are a little bit different. It's the cleanest place I've ever been in my entire life. And I said, hey, man, how's it so clean? And they're like, oh, it's $5,000 if you litter. It's like $5,000. So, hey, if you throw one piece of gum on the ground, it's $5,000. If you don't have the money, you go to jail for 2 years.
Wow.
So
yeah,
it's a little bit different than in the United States. So I don't think we can accomplish that. But we learned a lot. We learned a lot going there to see like super fans and how they place teams and how they helped assist to separate certain teams from each other because hey, this World Cup is real. We're passionate about football, basketball, and baseball, but it's nowhere near as passionate as the soccer fans are.
What can Dallas expect for next year then when this hits us?
A lot of people, but one thing that I know, Dallas PD's prepared. We're ready. You have the Texas OU game. You have Grambling Prairie View. You have the State Fair running. We're ready.
Yeah, there's always – we talked about it before on the show. Dallas is such a magnet for everything, okay? And even more so than the other departments in the state. And, you know, we talked about ICE earlier. We had an incident happen, and I saw your email come out after that of how proud you were to be a Dallas police officer, the way they handled that response out there at that facility.
You're talking about the shooting at the ICE detention facility.
Yeah. Look, ICE was excited how we handled it. We were there immediately before anything else, any other harm can be inflicted. We were on the scene. We were there. And I was very proud of how we handled the scene, how we took care of everything.
No, I talked to some of those, I say kids, they're kids to me, young officers, and they did an amazing job. And it's the instincts, the training we have here in Dallas. We have such great training in our academy. It kicks in, and it's like a muscle memory.
You know, I was nervous about our academy when I first got here, and what I was nervous about was 10 months. I kept saying 10 months. I was like, golly, that's a long time. And, you know, when you're looking to become an officer, oftentimes if someone has an academy that's 4 months or 6 months, it might be a little bit more attractive than having to go 10 months. But after being here, I'm seeing what we're putting out on the streets day one and seeing some of the stressful scenarios that are happening early on, all the way up to shootings and, taking someone's life from someone who's just gotten out the academy. When you're finished Dallas PD Academy, you're ready for the streets. You're ready to go work day one.
What surprised you when you get here? You say, and I've heard you talk about you had an idea that you're going to tweak certain units and divisions. And what has surprised you most about this department?
Well, I'm sitting in one unit that I was looking to put a big stamp on, the wellness unit. I wanted to come in and make some changes because I believe in the wellness program. It's something that I was passionate about where I came from, being DEA. It was called EAP for us, Employee Assistance Program. And I felt like we had a really good program. So I was coming in here day one and I was going to make some changes. And then day 2, day 3, day 4, I started asking all these questions. And I'm like, man, they're already doing this. They're already doing this. And they're already doing that. And I was like, God, can't make changes on this program. I can't put my stamp on it because we're already there. So I was really excited about not having to make changes there. So, and then, like with the wellness program, I mean, I have to say it, right? I'm sitting here with Officer of the Year. Look at this. Congratulations, brother.
Thank you.
I'm sitting here with Officer of the Year. Let's turn this about you. How do you feel about being Officer of the Year?
I growing up here in Dallas and always wanting to be a Dallas police officer and to be honored with the John T. McCarthy Officer of the Year award. John T. McCarthy, he was killed in the line of duty in 1981, and the award is named after him. And, I'm beyond honored and humbled. Do I think I'm worthy of it? No, I do not, because we have such a great team in this unit. But I'll take it. And it was great. It was a great night. It was, and I was what really struck me is how blown away you were by the Friends of Dallas Police Department's event. You got up there, and I think you were overwhelmed by
I was.
the presentation.
It's kind of fancy.
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing we was missing was the red carpet. I mean, this thing was amazing.
It's like Academy Award.
And you're talking about Dallas. You're talking about people in Dallas. And people are knocking down the door to make it even bigger next year from the outside. It's already paid for next year.
Wow. No, it was amazing, but I really did enjoy watching your genuine surprise on that stage of just everything.
Yeah.
Set up.
It threw me off. In my mind, I had my little speech ready to go to rock, and I started off with, "Wow,
Yeah.
this is blowing me away. How nice this is, and how big it is. How many people are there, and how well the officers cleaned up."
Behaved, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And look, there's some really good-looking officers there. Everybody was
yeah.
dressed professionally, looked nice, and gowns and suits and dress. It was nice. Amazing.
It was great. It was an amazing honor, and that award was huge.
Yeah, well, it's heavy.
It's heavy. It's
look,
heavy.
I'm honored to be sitting here with the Officer of the Year right now.
Well,
that's the second time for him.
I've
You
heard.
heard?
So wait, let's talk about the first time. Now, I did have a few people tell me about the first time where he was kind of aggravating some people. Something about a big ring.
oh man, who are you talking to?
Come on, man. I have informants.
Oh,
I keep
man.
telling y'all I've worked and lived my entire career through informants.
Yeah.
So tell me about this big ring. Let's
It
turn
is-
this conversation around. Tell me about the big ring.
I'll show it to you. I forgot to wear it that night, and I annoy my wife Kristen when I wear it. It's a big, huge, like a Super Bowl ring, but it has my badge on it. It has my name on it. So, yeah, hey,
Well, I kind of heard you were popping off about this big ring several times to multiple people at different times where you kind of let the ring talk for you with your hand.
Yeah. I kind of tap it on the table. We didn't get a ring this time, but I got a lot of other prizes.
Yeah. I'm finding things out about you.
Yeah, you're clearly doing your homework. I thought I was the only one doing homework in this scenario. So I'm gonna get the spotlight off me. I want to go back to you. I noticed your slick sleeves on your uniform. You always have. You never wear the stripes on your uniform.
I've actually had several people ask me why I don't have stripes on my uniform since I've been here, and I don't feel like I deserve them yet. I think I need to get one stripe when I get 5 years as a DPD chief. I know I have 30 plus years in law enforcement. I became an officer in 91, but I haven't been a DPD officer. And I don't think you should wear stripes if it's not from that police department. I need to earn my stripes here.
Fair enough. Chief, I want you to send a message to all the criminals out there, people doing bad things, why they want no part of DPD smoke.
Man, let's make it very, very clear. If you're doing bad things in this city of Dallas, you don't want to have to deal with DPD. I'm telling you, I keep saying it over and over. That could be us knocking at your door at 6 a.m. You don't want to deal with this smoke. Bad guys, crooks, criminals. You don't want to deal with this heat. This smoke is hot.